You will learn. You've learned by now. It's such a small world.
Oh, yeah.
It's such. It's such.
It's the same people like all over the place.
That's why I've learned, and I try to be this way. Everybody's my friend. I respect everybody
No, you
because it's all. It's a hustle. It's all a hustle. So.
Yeah, why is this so big?
Okay. You there. Play ball. All right, so you would do soccer if you had to. You're always good for men's and women's hoops. No baseball, softball, lacrosse. Volleyball? Okay. Well, no, because a lot of times, if I get asked, like right now, have you met Clea Butler yet?
Like every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
but like
Want to do.
things that are like kind of in the
Big East Women's Basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the Big East Conference. Welcome one, welcome all. It is a sunny Big East Women's Basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the Big East Conference. Welcome one, welcome all. It is a sunny yet chilly Sunday afternoon, the 2nd of March, as the visiting Red Storm of St. John's come to town to take on the Blue Demons of DePaul University. Both these teams have their seeding for the postseason conference. St. John's will take on Butler, the 8 versus 9 seed, and DePaul will take on Xavier, the 6 versus 11. Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. Alongside my broadcast colleague this afternoon, the former Lawrence Tech Blue Devil, Alexis Ayala. I'm Peter Ferrari. Lexi, both teams coming into this final game of the regular season would love nothing more than to come away and get that final win to get that little bit of momentum heading into the postseason.
And even though those postseason brackets are set, there's so much riding on this game. The confidence going into postseason, and for DePaul, it's their senior night. They've got one senior, forward Jory Allen, that everyone in this community rallies around, so this game means a lot.
Absolutely, but leading the charge for the Red Storm of St. John, tied her career high of 25 points, Lachey Dwyer.
Guard Lachey Dwyer is so good off her own bounce. She's able to get inside the paint with ease, so good at adjusting to that second line of help defense. Normally opponents would go under a screen on her, but she's coming off of 50% shooting from 3, so that's something that DePaul will have to be aware of today. As for DePaul, their most consistent player that has been their go-to bucket getter all season long, forward Jory Allen. She's as consistent as they come. She makes magic happen when the ball touches her hand, whether it's scoring or facilitating. She has one of the best visions in the league, especially as a post player. She's used to getting double and triple team, and that's how she's become so great at facilitating.
The Blue Demons, the Red Storm, the final game of the regular season coming your way momentarily. It's Flow Sports coverage on the Big East Digital Network.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, one ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
St. John's Blue Demons. Let's look at the Red Storm and the Johnny starting 5. Donald, Dwyer, Mayo at your starting 1, 2, and 3. Lavelle and Gideon at your number 5 position. So a huge output for the Red Storm just a few days ago against Georgetown. We'll see what happens here today. Head coach Joe Tartamella is leading the charge. As for the Blue Demons, Johnson, Matthews, Lee, Clark, Newman, and Jory Allen. It is the Jory Allen day, and we are witness for this fun afternoon. Let's take a look at head coach for St. John's, Joe Tartamella. Again, his 13th season at the helm. We're excited to be with you once again for Lexi Ayala. I'm Peter Ferrari, and the Johnnies come away with the opening tip-off. They are in their road navies, red numbers and letters, white trim. The Blue Demons in the home whites, blue numbers and letters, red trim. A whistle right off the bat.
Hitting the hardwood,
That was tough.
good for Meg Newman, though, being good sportsmanship, helping up the opponent there.
You always helped everybody up, right?
I did not, so that's why I had to give credit where credit is due.
Almost a steal for the Blue Demons. Now let's set the stage here, Lexi. Again, both these teams already know their seeding for the upcoming NCAA tournament. DePaul at the 6th seed, they'll take on Xavier, and of course the 8th seed for St. John's. What do you try to get out of this final game before you know you have the one more do or die game?
Confidence. Even though this game doesn't affect the seeding for postseason, it does affect your confidence if you come out of it with a win or a loss.
Swing to the left side, open 3, rims out, no good, big defensive board, Meg Newman out of Indianapolis.
And especially for DePaul to be able to win this game, they're playing for Jory Allen. Like you said, it's Jory Allen Day because it's senior day. She's the only senior on this team. She is the leader of this squad. Everyone respects her top to bottom.
Looking at the top, strong defense thus far. Allen, the up and under, drives in right side of the paint, turnaround, floats right hand, kisses off the glass, soft. No good, another defensive rebound by Phoenix Gideon, the senior out of Montreal, Quebec. Did you ever think about playing in Canada?
I have never gotten to, but I always wanted to play in the Canada-American games in high school. Never got invited, sadly. Michigan versus Ohio border battle.
Fair.
Not
I have done Michigan-Ohio State before, and that's just a battle.
It is. It is.
That's just people that don't like each other. Nice three-point basket to start things out for the Johnnies. Again, give credit where it is due. Shout out to the St. John's men's basketball program. First time in 40 years who won the outright conference championship regular season yesterday. Head coach Rick Pitino, just the magician, arguably one of the best all time. Basket up and good for Meg Newman. And why does that bear mentioning in today's game? When I was speaking with Coach Tartamella, he said there are more eyes on St. John's as an institution now than there has been in 40 years.
And it rubs off as Jory Allen gets a big block here on every program in the school, in the university. Just because your men's program is doing good, that's contagious. Everyone starts feeling that energy.
Long range three, couldn't find the bucket. Picking up the pace now is Bernaya Mayo, the grad student, left side. I also want to point out, I don't know if there's ever been a broadcast where a player on each team has been wearing the face mask. This may be a first in my career.
Oh, mine too. Meg Newman has been sporting the face mask for a while.
There's it off to the right, and that will go out of play.
Kate Clark, though, she's been someone who's been in and out for a majority of the beginning of the season. She was out from injury. She came back, and after just a few games of being back, went out for another few games. So she's still in this zone where she's trying to find that rhythm and get that shot back.
Strong defense by Newman at the top. Is that going to be a charge? It's going to be a block. Close. Some of the home Bluebirds not necessarily happy about that, but nonetheless, Shea Dwyer, the senior, the Miami transfer. Fun fact as well, Coach Dartamella recruited her out of high school, but she said, okay, well, I want to go from Canada, try Miami for a bit, and then decided I want to finish out my career back with the coach that recruited me. And I think that says a lot about that continuity, that you got recruited, and again, in your circumstance as well, you're meeting these people when you're in high school, and you felt such a connection that you wanted to transfer to where that coach was.
Relationship building as Mayo gets the three ball there to go. Really good off her own dribble, but relationship building is just so important now more than ever with the transfer portal.
Steal layup with the right hand and good. Dwyer heard us speaking about her. It is an 8-2 lead for the Johnnies early on in quarter number one.
Dwyer's really good at poking it at the right, perfect time to get a steal, turn her defense into offense.
Another turnover forced by St. John's. What are they doing so well defensively that's just causing the Blue Demons fits?
St. John's is doing such a nice job just getting in the grill of all of DePaul players when they have the ball, at trapping in the corners when they can, and intercepting in those passing lanes.
Mayo swinging off to the right. Open for three, Dwyer, good if it goes! The fireball from outside, it is 11-2, what a hot start for the Storm.
What's going to be hard to guard with Dwyer today is she's someone that players normally go under the screen on because of her quick first step, want to guard that driving game first. However, she's coming off of 50% from three last game.
Allen rims out, no good. It's the soft touch that hasn't been found. A scuffle, a foul going to be called on Meg Newman. I thought it was potentially going to be a jump ball, but nonetheless, they're calling it on Newman.
Newman letting some frustration out because that's two quick ones in the first quarter for her, so immediately she has to go to the bench. Watch here, this St. John's three, though. The quick passing out of St. John's. Turning down a good shot for a great shot. That's what's going to be important for St. John's today. They've struggled with consistency, but if they can find quality shots, they'll be able to put all four quarters together.
Poked away inside, Haley Walker out of Burlington, Vermont, with a nice job defensively as she jots back in, the left knee brace in tow. One thing Coach Tartamella said, and I want your opinion on this, Lexi, is he switched up their practice routine this weekend for the first time all season. Shot up, no good, back iron. Offensive rebound by Gideon. Off to the right side, here's that one more touch. And so to go back to the story, is he had them practice very early yesterday morning in Queens, and then early flight early dinner and then got here early today. He's like, I mixed it up for that final run because I didn't want them to feel too comfortable heading for postseason play, and shot clock expires. I think they just couldn't find that one extra touch.
Well, yeah, on that possession, St. John's needed to wake up a little bit and recognize that shot clock was winding down. And when that shot clock hits 3 seconds, that's when you've got to be willing to be the shooter. You can't pass it off and settle for someone else to step up for you.
There's the shot. Jory Allen stops the 3-minute scoring drought. It was an 8-0 run for the Johnnies.
Allen, really nice mid-range game. She's someone who developed over the offseason and added 3-level scoring to her game. She's always been good on the blocks and mid-range. She can also shoot the 3 a bit too now.
Good crisp pass inside of it, too much. English behind it, and Gideon can't necessarily hold onto it, but nonetheless, St. John, the Red Storm, lethal from outside. When we come back, continuation quarter number 1 on Big East Digital Network.
Blue Nation, please help me welcome to the floor your DePaul cheer and dancing. Would you please help me celebrate today's Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois champions of the game. They received a seat upgrade courtesy of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. DePaul University's official health and nutrition provider, serving over 8.9 million residents around Illinois. Once again, Wood Truck Arena, Blue Nation, make some noise.
Taking a look at head coach Jill Pizzotti, her 14th season at the helm, taking over for Doug Bruno this year, an interim role. And she has been such a spark plug for this team. He doesn't miss a step, and what truly is important about what her role is, her relationship, is she cares so much about the players, and St. John's cares about buckets. My goodness, the turnovers, it is a 9-point lead.
And what's crazy is not often do you see Taylor Johnson-Matthews get stripped, but Dwyer is so good at having that bottom hand ready for the crossover.
Foul gonna be called. But yeah, going back to Coach Jill Pizzotti, talk us through what it's like if you were a player in this situation. You have the same coach for all these years, 40-plus years, 50-plus with Coach Bruno, and Coach Pizzotti steps in and truly doesn't miss a beat.
Well, and the nice thing is that also Coach Pizzotti has been around for just as long, dang near, as St. John's gets this other steal. But the nice thing, too, is that Coach Bruno has been feeling a lot better, but everyone on DePaul's squad has bought into Pizzotti and the way that she's been running things this year. So he's stepped back and allowed her to finish this season out.
It is a 4 out of the last 5 field goals made for St. John's, and a rare miss. 4 turnovers the last 4 possessions for the Blue Demons. They need a clean one, Lexi. Swinging over to the top. Looking for the one touch, wasn't there. Right side, pulls the trigger. Soft off the rim for Walker, couldn't find the bucket. Still 4 points in the opening. 6.5 minutes for the Blue Demons.
St. John's is just playing with a lot of extra aggression, getting in the face of everybody on DePaul. DePaul has to be able to handle that pressure.
And so Dwyer slowly making her way to the bench. During our conversation with Coach Tartamello yesterday, I said, talk us through what it's like to have a player in Dwyer believe in you so much. She transfers from Miami to St. John's because you were the one that recruited her. And he said, look, when she's on, she is, in my opinion, top 3 in the Big East, hands down. That's a huge vote of confidence because this is the Big East we're talking about.
No, truly. And Dwyer, once she can pull that consistency together, I think he's right.
Second miss on back-to-back possessions. Can DePaul answer back? The crossover, McCline up with the left hand, no good. Allen tries to fight for it. She looks for the foul from the officials. Nothing there off the miss. The drive, blocked away.
Oh.
Jory Allen says, thank you, next.
Allen has 2 big blocks today. It's her hustle, it's her determination more than anything. She never gives up on a play. She comes flying in from the 3-point line, beats you to the spot, gets a piece, stays clean. That's something else that Jory Allen got so much better with throughout this season, is having to stay on the court and stay clean. She cannot afford to get 1 or 2 quick fouls in the beginning of the game.
Another foul called already by McCline, the guard out of East St. Louis, Illinois. And fouls are starting to add up a little bit. DePaul 4 turnovers and St. John's 7 points off those turnovers. 2.5 minute scoring drought for the Blue Demons.
The one point of emphasis that Pizzotti talked about that still does need to be so much better for the Blue Demons is taking care of that rock.
Looking for the trifecta, no good. Big rebound by Kate Clark out of Carmel, Indiana. Don't expect Clark usually to take up the point. The Allen, the no-look handout. Clark nails it down. Nice shot from the outside. Stops the scoring drought.
Clark, it's the shooter's feet. She's also got the shooter's touch, that flick of the wrist, that ball rotation is beautiful. However, her shooter's feet, every time that she passes the ball off, that handoff to Allen, she's moving and chopping those feet, gets set up perfectly.
Mayo with the dish. Handle lost inside. Clark comes away with it. The high dribbler pushing the pace. Swing to the right side. 3 ball. Couldn't find it. Out of play, but momentum you can feel starting slowly to shift back for the Blue Demons.
A little deflated from the air ball there. Taylor Johnson-Matthews really good at the driving game. She is a 3-level scorer. Her 3 ball has been on. However, she's best when she starts off seeing that ball go in off a drive first. Okay. Then her 3s are like easy.
DePaul has dropped 4 out of its last 5 contests, including a 76-67 setback at Seton Hall this past Thursday. Foot inside the line, no good. Allen with the rebound. Again, that momentum in the Big East tournament, oh so crucial. Offensive board, up soft with the right hand. Walker getting the crowd engaged yet again at Wintrust Arena.
DePaul has been so good at giving themselves second chance opportunities. Everyone crashes O boards and it gives them extra possessions.
A steal. McCline looked for the bounce pass and it was kicked out of bounds. That was a good kick.
That's a heads up basketball IQ play.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, don't kick a basketball. This isn't soccer. But if you're going to get beat on that fast break, by any means necessary.
You live to play another possession and don't just give the gimme points.
That's
excellent,
right.
Excellent call. DePaul not having used much of the shot clock in this opening quarter of action, down to the final 50 seconds of play. Screen to the right. Clark up and hitting the bottom of the basket. And Kylie Lavelle, the junior, a Penn State Nittany Lion transfer, called for the foul.
Watch Johnson-Matthews, killer cross right there. She gets an inch of space, and that's all she needs, because once she has you beat and has just that shoulder past you, she knows how to draw and absorb contact and get herself to the free throw line.
Johnson-Matthews, one of our players to watch, shooting .779 from the free throw line. No good off the back rim. I jinxed it. I said how good she is at the free throw line, and she missed. That's my
typical.
bad. That's my bad.
Broadcaster's curse right there.
Looking for 1 of 2, able to deliver. Right now, St. John's on a little bit of a scoring drought of their own. They're 0 for their last 5, including 1 for their last 7. They now have 4 turnovers in their last 5 possessions. Almost 6.
A lot of them self-inflicted. St. John's got themselves a big lead and then buried themselves.
Mayo with the crossover, own right kick out. Defense standing tall, down to the final 7. Mayo the kick out one more time. Dwyer, 3 ball, rolls around, no good. 15 seconds, plenty of time for the Blue Demons. 10 on the shot clock and game clock remaining in the opening quarter. Allen drives, and a charge called on Allen.
Really tough. Allen is the player that DePaul wants to go to when the shot clock or quarter is winding down to get that bucket. You see she dips her shoulder here, commits herself, imposing her will. That was just really good defense, chopping and beating Allen to the spot.
So full court inbound opportunity now for the Johnnies. 3.6 remains. Movement to the near side, and that's going to go out of play.
DePaul has one more opportunity here. Again, St. John's self-inflicted.
Looking for that corner post. We are a stone's throw from Soldier Field. Inbound near side, poked away again. Mayo off the leg of Johnson Matthews, and out of bounds after out of bounds after out of bounds.
Yeah, Pizzotti with her hands on her head. There needs to be a woo-saw moment after this first quarter for both teams.
The inbounds and just going to hold it for the final 1.6 seconds. We end quarter number 1. The Red Storm of St. John's lead 13-10 over the Blue Demons of DePaul University. We'll be back shortly. For Alexi Ayala, I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us on the Big East Digital Network.
Sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, 1 ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
A St. John's education is an education that elevates. St. John's is New York to the core. As a Catholic university, our students are ethical leaders on the court, in the classroom, in the community, and worldwide. United by pride and purpose, our students turn ideas into action and emerge career-ready with a confidence to succeed and change the world. St. John's University, education that elevates.
DePaul University students aren't just preparing for the real world, they're living in it. 98% of new incoming freshmen receive scholarships totaling over $57 million every year. And DePaul helps students find internships, hosting 17,000 every year from leading U.S. companies. Start your future at DePaul. As real as what's next. DePaul University.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, 1 ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Looking now at one of the leaders for St. John's, our player to watch, Lachey Dwyer. Again, the Toronto native. She had 5 steals in Wednesday's contest and has already started out in a hot fashion for St. John's.
Dwyer has such a high basketball IQ. She knows exactly what move a player is about to do, whether it's the crossover that Johnson Matthews had or the spin move that McCline was going for. She knows how to anticipate that and time it perfectly to get her sneaky little hands on it and off to the races.
DePaul, for all intents and purposes, weathered the Red Storm. We're down 13-4 at one point. A low-scoring opening quarter of action. Pop-up jumper a few feet inside the line. Johnson Matthews out of Cleveland, Ohio, able to get the Blue Demons within one.
Johnson Matthews has such a beautiful pull-up jumper. She rises and lands in the same spot, which shows she has perfect balance and control.
This guided pass, looking for Ariana Vanderhoop, the Monmouth transfer. And DePaul now an opportunity to take the lead. And I don't know if I would have said in such confidence that this was a chance for them with how many turnovers they had early on.
Truly, and then St. John's dug themselves that hole. And on that last defensive possession, though, McCline got blown up by a screen, which also shows DePaul needs better communication on the defensive end as well.
St. John's extending their defense out to the perimeter more so than on prior possessions with 5. The bounce pass, Johnson Matthews called for the travel, got the possession, took that jab step, and then kept going.
I didn't see the travel, but that was a really good backdoor cut by Johnson Matthews, and especially because she was being face guarded. So it's hard to still receive that basketball, but also a really nice entry pass to feed her.
DePaul's, it's a conversation they have to have is how do they want to finish these possessions when it gets, as you mentioned, to that 7 seconds and under. Allen comes up with the rebound.
St. John's is doing such a good job at making it to where Allen isn't even touching the ball.
Well, it's the old adage, you take away their best player, make somebody else beat you, and that's exactly what St. John's is doing this afternoon in Chicago. Crossover baseline. Nice play by Dwyer.
Great help defense, though, by Allen.
Gideon now looking for the handoff, looking for any movement. Sky Owen with possession, 8 on the shot clock. The drive, step back, front of the rim, no good.
Great contest by McCline, staying clean, but also getting a hand up and in the face.
Looking for anywhere to go, the bounce pass. Jory Allen backing in, turnaround jumper. Soft off the front iron, no good. DePaul trying to run it down. Fast break opportunity. Owen, layup, hits the rim and misses. Good defense.
Is so fast, but good for Johnson Matthews to run with them.
Open for 3, couldn't find the bucket as McCline.
McCline cannot hesitate on a shot that wide open from 3. She looked over at Johnson Matthews, and it was Johnson Matthews who told her, shoot it. You've got to have that confidence within yourself, though.
Looking for any sort of movement. Down low, the turnaround skyhook right hand, another miss. Both teams having trouble scoring in quarter number 2, and an ill-advised pass once again for the Blue Demons. Do you change things up just bringing it half court, past half court at this point? You know, what are you looking for to try to prevent so many turnovers?
For DePaul, they need to relax. It looks like they're playing with so much of rushedness, if that's a word.
Sure, we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Urgency. It's okay to play with that urgency. Play quick. They're playing rushed, out of control, not on the same page. It seems like they have nerves, some pressure. Just knowing, I mean, there was a lot of emotions in this game, pregame. They had a huge video played for Allen. Multiple girls on the team, women, excuse me, were crying. So they need to shake that off and just focus on basketball now.
Mayo drives in, right hand up, back of the rim, no good yet again. Blue Demons an opportunity to take the lead. Trapped at the middle, ill-advised pass yet again past the half-court mark. St. John just keeps extending, Lexi, their defense further and further, saying, we'll keep forcing those turnovers and a foul underneath the basket.
DePaul needs to all gather themselves right now, and it's when Jory Allen has to speak life into everybody, start holding everyone accountable. And it's tough, as you see this foul here by McCline, as St. John's continues to run so quickly in transition after every single one of DePaul's mistakes. So DePaul has 0 time to hang their head and be upset about anything.
Couldn't find the bucket is Julie Bahati out of Nairobi, Kenya.
The one shining light for DePaul with all of these turnovers that they've got already, 9 turnovers, is that St. John's, honestly, 7 points off of those turnovers is not too bad with where it could be.
Body on the season had only attempted 12 free throws the entire year going into that sequence. And it's got to be a unique situation if you're not used to taking any free throws all season. Almost another turnover for the Blue Demons. The kick out, thought the trigger was going to get pulled. It did not. Nelson now goes up strong with the right hand and delivers. Thought she was going to take the three, Lexi. She had other ideas.
Good score first mentality by Nelson, especially because DePaul has started to freak out and just trying to chuck the ball somewhere into the paint so Allen can get it. But other players have to be a threat too, and that helps Allen get open.
Tied at 14 apiece, 6:10 remaining until halftime. Once again, on the Big East Digital Network, I'm Peter Ferrari alongside Lexi Ayala, and a answer right back for the Johnnies.
DePaul also has to make sure they're getting back in transition defense, communicating better on defense.
Another travel called, that time Summer Lee called for the travel.
It's the attention to detail right now, Peter. DePaul really needs to just get back to the basics, the fundamentals. Get in triple threat, make sure you're jump stopping. Fake a pass to make a pass. Little things like that really matter down the stretch, no matter what level that you play on.
Gideon, the handoff to Mayo. Slight kiss off the rim. Couldn't find the bucket. The kick out. Clark, does she have a three in? Allen, turn around. Thought about the pump shot, didn't take it. Right hand off the glass, another miss for the Blue Demons, but at least they didn't turn it over, and at least they shot confidently. Mayo behind the back. Resetting up the offense for the Johnnies. 5 and change until halftime. 4 turnovers for the Blue Demons out of their last 5 possessions. Similar to quarter number 1. Down to 5. Dwyer drives, pulls up from the elbow. A miss, fighting for it, and a jump ball called. Possession will stay with St. John's. So fighting for the rebound where both squads jump ball after this whistle will stay the possessions for the Red Storm of St. John's. Your score 16-14. We'll be back on Flow Sports and the Big East Digital Network.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, 1 ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
A St. John's education is an education that elevates. St. John's is New York to the core. As a Catholic university, our students are ethical leaders on the court, in the classroom, in the community, and worldwide. United by pride and purpose, our students turn ideas into action and emerge career-ready with a confidence to succeed and change the world. St. John's University, education that elevates.
DePaul University students aren't just preparing for the real world, they're living in it. 98% of new incoming freshmen receive scholarships totaling over $57 million every year. And DePaul helps students find internships, hosting 17,000 every year from leading U.S. companies. Start your future at DePaul. As real as what's next. DePaul University.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, 1 ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Join Megan Caffrey as she takes you inside Big East women's basketball each week on the In the Bonus podcast. You can find In the Bonus wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. In this week's episode, Megan Caffrey sat down with Marquette Lee Volker. And having a look now at Interim head coach Jill Pizzotti, once again her 14th season with the Blue Demons. The 6th seed versus Xavier coming up. Lexi, that's going to be a fun tournament this upcoming week.
I can't believe we're already at tournament time. I am equally so excited and so happy and so sad because it means it's like starting to end.
Well, when I sat in the drive today, you know, much longer drive for you than me in this circumstance, I said, who would have thought that already it's March, already it's time for madness?
No, I hate
and
that.
that just shows how much you and I love this sport and are passionate about it, that it goes in a blink of an eye.
It flies. It flies. And it's so funny because a lot of people have the seasonal depression.
Yes.
My seasonal depression is flip-flop for most people because basketball is gone in the summer and I'm thriving in the winter.
Under 5 remaining, your score still sits 16-14. Defense of St. John's forcing DePaul to a 31% shooting percentage from the field. Up, strong, Jory Allen, abracadabra, ooh la la.
Allen deserves that one. She was fighting and hustling for her life for positioning down low. They were being so physical with her all game long. Allen finally, when her guards were able to give her a clean entry pass, she knew all she had to do was just Allen things. Get that magic and make it happen.
She's been such a pleasure to watch throughout her career. An aspiring potential broadcast journalist or coach, I say do both. Why not? You love the sport that much to write about it, to talk about it, to coach it, do it all because of how instrumental she is as a player. You know, you and I, when we spoke with Coach Pizzotti yesterday, we said, you know, is she truly like a player coach? And she said absolutely.
Allen is not done changing the game.
The kick out, a travel called on Dwyer.
Better team defense by DePaul that time too. And again, it starts with Allen on the offensive end and the defensive end. She's that rim protector. She's always on the help line, being that player that steps up and scares anyone from making something happen in the paint.
Allen's the leading Big East scorer with 20.2 points a game. She having finished in double digits multiple times. And against the Pirates, she finished with a team best 21 points, 13 for 14 behind the field. And how about that?
Clark
delivers.
Oh my gosh, the way that she's able to get a shot off so quick is insane. That's what makes her such a great three-point specialist, is that quick high release.
Biggest lead of the afternoon for the Blue Demons. Owen gets the screen, kicks off to Janiyah Grant. 3 with 2, up strong, left hand, and 1. What a way for Phoenix Gideon to rise from the ashes of that possession like a phoenix and be able to deliver.
Gideon has been playing so strong. Watch, that shoulder dip, drawing the contact, even with Clark pulling her arm down, Gideon outstrengths 2 Blue Demons.
Up and good for Gideon, a 696 free throw shooter on the year, so adds to that before they hit postseason play.
Gideon only averages about 6 points per game, but where she is so important for this squad is being a rim protector. She has been a wall against Allen all game long.
Almost another turnover for DePaul. Shot clock already down to 10. The drive, layup with the left hand, rolls and good. Nelson out of Perrysburg, Ohio delivers.
Anytime DePaul can have a player outside of Allen or Johnson Matthews step up, they're in really good position.
Nice cut for the Johnnies. Not able to find the outlet pass was Gideon. The screen for Owen. Thought it was a travel for 3. No good. Allen comes away with a rebound.
One of those ball don't lie moments. Definitely a travel, but the basketball gods are karmic.
Hold up that hand for all 3. Oh, Harry delivers. The pride of Las Vegas.
Oh, Harry has grown her confidence throughout the season. She used to hesitate sometimes when she got that ball open from three. She doesn't anymore, and that's the reason you see her percentages go up. Watch O'Hare. The second she gets this ball, it's passed perfectly into her shot pocket. All she has to do is bring that other foot around, and it's splash.
St. John's trailing 25-19. Again, they had their biggest offensive output of the season against the Hoyas a few days ago with 83 points. So surprising nonetheless, they only have 19 with 2 minutes remaining until half. Up with the right hand and good as the shot clock expired. Gideon fearless with 3 seconds remaining.
Gideon's confidence has went up after getting some stops on defense. For a lot of defensive specialists, that's what fires you up on the offensive end.
25-21 your score. Looking for the inbound of the Blue Demons. Court off to the right. Let's see if DePaul can get a clean shot off turnaround jumper. Just missed. Clark couldn't buy the bucket. Talk me through what DePaul's done defensively since the onset of the game to kind of slow down and force the hand of St. John's to utilize the whole shot clock.
Such better team defense. St. John's started off with a lot of points in the paint, 10 really to start the game, and they haven't gotten any sense because the team defense has been on that helpline, stopping the drives.
DePaul 4 out of their last 5 from the field, forcing another ill-advised shot, picking up the pace, Summer Lee.
The thing about St. John's, though, they are coming off of one of the highest output games as Clark misses the bunny down low. But they had 80-plus points, but they got 54 in the second half, so they can really ring them off with a quickness.
18-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. DePaul looking to hold on to utilize as much of that shot clock as possible to not allow the Johnnies as much time as they would like. Allen calls for it down low, and a foul, I believe, is going to be called against Gideon.
It'll be so beneficial if DePaul can draw fouls on Gideon because she has been their strongest rim protector, the biggest wall against Allen, forcing her to not be able to get many touches throughout the half-court sets.
For the inbounds now, Lee underneath the basket, up and good. What a finish for Johnson Matthews.
DePaul has their out-of-bounds plays so down pat. They do a really nice job at executing those.
The Johnnies now holding on for the final possession of quarter number 2. 15 remaining, trailing by 6, 27-21. Owen tries to find the lane, kick out, Gideon, 3-ball, nails it. As the half expires, Gideon taking over for St. John's.
Gideon, sometimes confidence beats out percentages and averages. Gideon, she's only a 25% three-point shooter, but when you're confident, when you're not hesitating and you're willing to shoot like that and take over for your team, you stay in this game. DePaul barely leads by 3.
3-point lead for the Blue Demons over the Johnnies. We'll take a timeout. The halftime report coming up shortly on the Big East Digital Network.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, 1 ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Welcome into In the Bonus. Isis Young and myself, Megan Caffrey, are here. We're pumped to be joined with you as Ice. If you can believe it, already we've got the final full week of conference play upon us. This season, girlfriend, has literally flown by.
My gosh, every year around this time, especially February, it's February. It just goes by so quickly. And normally I feel like it's because it's so many good games. So we're just looking forward to the next good game, the next good game. And then when you turn around, it's like, oh, it's time for a conference tournament. And I'm preparing for conference tournaments. Like, oh my goodness.
It's crazy. And we were talking about it a little bit before, but update everyone. You had a crazy February yourself. That's kind of why it flew by. What were you up to this past month?
Yeah, I mean, just, different games, men's and women's college, traveling on the road. I've had some Big Ten games with like Michigan and Nebraska women's basketball. I've done a Seton Hall game and got to call, them and catch up with Coach Bozzella in person. I've had an overtime thriller, Iowa at Ohio State women's basketball the other week, which was really fun. I just kind of feel like just really enjoying like covering both men's and women's hoops. And again, like this part of the year, it really becomes just so magical. Like there's just always hoops on and there's a ton of storylines and everything's kind of building up towards this one big moment. So I'm excited for it. How about you? How's everything for you?
Everything's good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you said, right? It's like we've been putting in the work. And I think the exciting thing is the teams have been putting in their work as well, honestly. And as we kind of look back as to what some teams in the Big East were able to do last week, what stood out to me, Ice, and has been standing out to me, honestly, has been Marquette. They are on a 4-game win streak. Right now, the Golden Eagles, 11-5 in conference play. They're tied with Seton Hall. And I think it is just so impressive what they have been able to do. Within this 4-game win streak, that the game that sparked it for them was their game against Seton Hall. And then you look at the games after, DePaul, Providence, Georgetown. They're beating teams. It's not just like a 1-point win here. They're beating teams pretty handedly by 10 points with some of these cases. So I've been really impressed with them. I think Skylar Forbes, she has to have a huge shout out to her. She's averaging just over 15 points per game. She's in the top 10 in scoring in the league. And I just think impressive is the word that comes to mind with Marquette. And you're doing that all with a brand new head coach this year. I think it's kind of that, to be a cliche, peaking at the right time, right? Everything coming together when you want it to as March is approaching. I've been super impressed with them.
Yeah, I was on that game for their win at Seton Hall, and it was a huge bounce back game, momentum game, a great game to win on the road, and then you just pick up steam. On the same side, though, or on the same tip, I guess, Seton Hall is a team that I would highlight and say, looking back, I always love rivalry games. They, beat the Red Storm 66-57 last week, and just did some very good things that you want to see them doing at this point in the season. They knocked down 8 threes and shot 34%. They've had 19 points off of turnovers. They're known for that gritty defense and athleticism. And then I just feel like this rivalry win, especially late in February, gives you a lot of momentum when you're getting into the tournament. We know momentum and confidence are two things that are hard to get in your grasp, but once you do, you really want to ride that wave. So I would say, looking back, like those two teams for sure, certainly throughout the course of this season, the Golden Eagles and Pirates have weathered storms and been able to get key wins when they needed them. And I would say they look really strong going into the Big East tournament.
And they've weathered storms, interestingly enough, with unexpected veterans. I think that's like really awesome, right? The transfers that you've got coming in for the Pirates and everything. So I love it. Let's turn now to 3 minutes, 3 questions, Ice, a fan favorite segment that we've got. I'm going to start here. Question number 1 for you. We're going to talk a little bit UConn Huskies. Sarah Strong, she just earned her 9th Freshman of the Week honors this week, Ice. What makes her so impressive?
Yeah, I feel like I've been saying it all season, but her versatility and maturity. She's scoring more in the low post, in the mid post, in the high post, and also from three. She looks comfortable when she's demanding the ball. I mean, specifically during their win and huge win on the road versus South Carolina, I thought she played with such a level of physicality that it looked like she was a junior or senior on the floor. And I think come tournament time, playing with physicality is so important to stand your ground, to be aggressive. She's been their steady force inside, and they'll need her to be just as steady in tournament play, especially Big East, and then obviously NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have loved her game. Okay, let's go back to talking about the Red Storm. Lachey Dwyer has been a difference maker for the Johnnies, Meg. How's she been doing it?
I think it's just she has the it factor. And I think we have been seeing, especially recently, Ice, the reason that Joe Tartamella brought her into the Johnnies, right? She's got that it factor. She's an impact player. She knows how to score. And get this past week on offense, she averaged 17 and a half points. That's going up against a ranked Creighton team against the Pirates. She was proficient in shooting as well, 60% shooting from the field. She just knows where to find her shot. And on top of it, if her shot's not falling, she's not afraid to explore different avenues and how to find it. And I think that that's one thing that you see in a lot of veteran players, especially, right? The fact that shooter's going to shoot, right? They're not going to get flustered when their shot isn't falling, and they're going to figure out different ways to make it happen. And that's one thing that's been really interesting with watching as her game, as I've gotten to learn her game more so this season. Last question, Ice, putting you on it. All right, girl, because we've got the Big East tournament coming up here so soon. Can't wait. Mohegan Sun Arena. Don't miss that one. I want to hear a hot take. What have you got for me when you're thinking about tournament time?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the first thing is just immediately rest. For those teams that get to clinch that bye and that first round bye and get to rest for a game, it's an advantage for them. And so we mentioned Seton Hall's big win over St. John's. That allowed them to clinch that first round bye. So I would say keep your eyes on them. And then honestly, man, do not sleep on Creighton. I think the Blue Jays are building for more than just to win the Big East tournament. They're also building for seeding in the NCAA tournament. They've been a top 25 team for the past couple of weeks. So they've got a lot that they want to accomplish, and it will start with how they start the Big East tournament.
Rest. So underrated, and it's so hard to come by once March is happening. Because think about it, right? We're looking at the regular season right now is winding down. Teams are playing up until Sunday. So there are 4 Big East games on Sunday. Ice, we're going to dive into a couple of these on tap. The afternoon kicks off, Marquette and UConn. There are 2 games on FS1, that being one of them. And then Villanova and Creighton is the nightcap on FS1 at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Seton Hall, Xavier, you can catch those on the BEDN, as well as St. John's and DePaul. But first, I'm going to talk a little UConn, right? We were kind of alluding to this before, but Marquette and UConn, the Golden Eagles, obviously having the tough task ahead of them. But I think UConn looks really good right now to me. I think you talked everything with Sarah Strong, right? She's playing at such a high level, and you're watching you're watching Paige, you're watching AZ. This UConn team is playing for so much more, and you're seeing it with what Paige has been able to do in some of her recent games as well. I think Marquette's obviously got a tough task ahead of them, but it's going to be interesting to see how long Marquette can really hang with UConn with what they've been able to do. You can't lie, right? Momentum is a thing. They're riding. Yeah. They do have one game prior to this, but I think it's going to be a great matchup. I'm excited to watch it and kind of end their season on a high note.
Yeah, and then the game that I would like to highlight is Villanova at Creighton, another game on FS1, and again, just tough games to finish the regular season, right? These are 4 of the top 5 teams in the Big East that are facing each other the last week in regular season. So it's important for each team to just kind of think about, can we win games in our identity, playing our style this time of year? And then how much confidence do picking up these wins right before the regular season give us going into tournament play? I'm so excited. The best time of the year is upon us, Meg.
Yeah, it is. I want to ask you a question. As a player yourself, kind of hanging on to that, what you just said, right? Of playing our style, of staying true to our identity. How hard is that, honestly, as March is coming, where at this point of time, people obviously know who you are, right? They know who's going to get the ball. They understand your MO, and there's always that desire to want to switch things up, right? To maybe, oh, we're going to give them a taste of something new that they haven't seen quite yet. Obviously, that's part of a game, but how hard is it truly to stick to your identity when everyone is so keen in on, okay, we know exactly who's the ball handler, where it's going to go?
Yeah, I think it's the belief system and knowing that what you do in terms of your identity and your style, you do at a high level. That more around tournament time in this year, you're focused on yourself and what you're doing rather than what the opponents have to do. I've heard coaches say that a lot with scouts sometimes when they have a tough time, getting a quick scout out or turning it around or getting the athletes to understand the other team. Is like, hey, we're still focused on us. We're still focused on what we do at a very high level. And I would say you've been building all season, 28, 29, 30 regular season games to get to this point where you feel confident and comfortable in your style to win. So that doesn't mean that there's only one style each team can win with. We obviously know there are teams in our league like a Creighton and UConn's and Seton Halls that can win in a multitude of ways. But you want to try to stick to your identity this time of year because you would think that's what you know the best.
Love it. Ice. The regular season wraps up this week. March is upon us. You're about to be even crazier than what your February was. I'm excited for you. This is always so much fun. Let's grab your popcorn because we've got hoops all weekend long. It is the best time of the year.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, one ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Big East women's basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the Big East Conference. Looking at the career of Jory Allen, started at Indiana in 2019 and has done nothing but become one of the best DePaul Blue Demons in the history of the sport. Again, career stats abound. And Lexi, she is just on and off the court one of the best. Look at that huge hug by Doug Bruno. I mean, that's just something special.
No, it really is something so special. We talked to Pizzotti about how Allen has broke every ceiling that was placed above her. She doesn't have ceilings. And it was just because of how determined she was. She would never came in as the most athletic player or just had a natural knack for everything basketball related. She grew every season. Her numbers on the court, but also just her leadership off the court. The way that she impacts people on the court and off the court is equal.
Well, and just to show that she regained her love for the sport, you being a former college athlete yourself, talk me through the sentiments behind that.
Oh, I totally get it. Sometimes basketball, I've always said, you can love basketball with your whole heart, and sometimes it feels like that sport just will not love you back, no matter how much you love it. And it makes you resent it sometimes. And that's typical for a lot of basketball players to go through that phase. But basketball, you learn that you can't love it for a short amount of time or for what you think is enough time and have expectations that it pays you back when you want it to pay you back. Okay. That's not how basketball is. Basketball teaches you that you love it because you love it without wanting to have any expectations of what it can give you back, and then that's when basketball repays you.
So it truly just expounds so well on the journey that one Jory Allen went through. Second half of action starting now. Almost another turnover for the Blue Demons. Again for Lexi Ayala and Peter Ferreri. Flow Sports and the Big East Digital Network. Jory Allen pulls up for the short two, can't find it, and you're gonna see the foul's actually gonna be on Kylie Lavelle. the Drexel and Penn State transfer. So Blue Demons cut a break, or catch a break, I should say.
That's Lavelle's second foul, and she's been really strong in the paint as a post player against Allen. Now she'll come out all game long. It's switched between Lavelle and Gideon guarding Allen.
Poked away by Mayo. You know, the Red Storm, they actually play such disciplined defense. Usually, they sit 28th in the nation in fewest fouls per game at 13.9.
And excuse me, that was Lavelle's third, which is why she went to the bench.
This guided pass over the top. Gideon comes away with it. The step in off the back rim, fighting for the offensive board, not able to come down with it.
St. John's has to figure out how to score more often off of DePaul's turnovers. They got over 10 in the first half, and they did not convert enough.
The block. Oh, what a play defensively, what a sequence defensively by Bahati. Open, trifecta, nothing but the bottom of the net.
St. John's got a really nice paint touch out of that first to open up Mayo and get her a wide open three-point shot.
So just like that, tied at 27. It was 27-21 right before half. A three-pointer to go within three. And another foul. That's going to be an offensive foul on Jory Allen.
St. John's is playing her so tough. They are being so physical down low on the blocks, on the post. And a lot of times it's the player who starts off being physical that starts the little fight that doesn't get caught. It's the reactor. And that time, Allen was the reactor.
Blair to Donald. Coach Tartamella calling for rotation at the top. Mayo in, right hand up, foul going to be called.
Mayo has to make that. She does get to go to the charity stripe and try to pay it off, but that's where she had that wide open lane on the right side, and she used the ball into her right hand. You've got to be able to make it. Watch Mayo. She gets the wide open lane, cuts through places so well, and just doesn't finish the play.
As the directions were getting called out by Coach Joe Tartamella. Again, as DePaul has honored Jory Allen not only tonight but all season. One thing St. John's has done all season is honored Lou Carnesecca, the namesake of much of this program, but also of Carnesecca Arena where they played, and one of the most legendary coaches, lived to the ripe age of 99. And, you know, I asked Coach Tartamella, you got any fun stories, as Bahati fell and popped right back up. But I said, Coach, do you have any fun stories about, you know, your interactions with him? And he said, well, he said two fun ones or two important ones. He said, one, when I got Big East Coach of the Year, that was the first phone call in my mailbox on my phone was Coach Lou Carnesecca. He goes, I didn't even know he had my cell phone. He called me, and it was the first voicemail saying congratulations. He said, and then when I was a kid, I went to Lou's camp to become a basketball player because that was the intent of Coach Tartamella. And he said, and what happened was they had pizza lunch one day, and one kid apparently took somebody else's piece. And apparently, allegedly, Coach Carnesecca knew that it wasn't Coach Joe, but he still called them both into the office and said, okay, which one of you did it? And the other kid immediately fessed up, and he said, okay, good. He said, I almost had a horrible situation with the legendary Coach Lou Carnesecca at his own camp because he thought I stole pizza.
Oh, no. I would have been shaking in my boots. I went to some Michigan State camps as a kid and remember seeing legendary head coach Susie Merchant. I cannot imagine if I got called into the office.
Into the office over pizza.
Right. What a moment. He lived to tell the tale.
He did. You know, and it's something you can expound on as well. One thing that Coach Tartamella really loves about not only his program, but St. John's as a whole. We mentioned earlier about the success of Coach Rick Pitino in his second year now. But he said all the coaches have such camaraderie. He said Coach Jojo Persico, the head coach of the women's volleyball program, a very good program in the Big East as well. When his father passed a few months ago, he said the first person in my office to offer me condolences was Coach Persico. So he said it's got to mean so much, Lexi, to know that the coaches you play for, not only on your team but across the institution, care about each other so much.
100%. Community is everything. And basketball brings you a community. That's the best part about basketball, is it truly brings people together, creates relationships and a family out of people that never started as blood.
Yeah. Nice baseline jumper for Benaya Mayo, the UMass transfer. Also not in the lineup today, but Tara Day, the DePaul transfer as well. A little bit more rare to see interconference transferring. Oh, the answer, the call, Taylor Johnson-Matthews.
Johnson-Matthews, she can get going in the blink of an eye, and that's someone that St. John's has to guard by committee. They've got to have a hand in her face, and if she beats you with that lethal first step, just have someone ready to step up and help.
Well, you talk about how there's only one senior on this program, and that's Jory Allen, the fifth-year senior coming over from Indiana. There is so much youth that a player like Johnson-Matthews, you know, that's your senior leader a year from now, and already having such an impact this season. Almost a steal, and Walker going to get called for the foul. Again, just an interesting sequence for DePaul. Let's take another look.
DePaul, it starts off with their lack of attention to detail, though. Walker doesn't get that foul call if she fakes a pass to make a pass, or she takes an extra moment to make sure Johnson-Matthews comes all the way over for a handoff. You cannot afford these deflections and these silly, uncrisp passes right now.
Mayo makes the shot. She is an 8-16 free throw shooter.
Honestly, DePaul is lucky that they have 13 turnovers and St. John's only has 9 points off of those turnovers.
St. John's has now regained the lead.
But DePaul easily still in shouting distance. If St. John's wants to create a larger lead, they've got to be able to execute the score, stop, score sequences, bring them together.
Johnny's already in the bonus with 6:40 remaining. Block! Bahati comes away with it. Another good defensive stand for St. John's.
Really good dish by Walker.
Crisp pass, Bahati with the offensive rebound, fighting through the reverse layup. No good. Clark comes away with the board.
Bahati doesn't need to force that. And Clark doesn't need to force that pass either. Both teams need to woo-saw.
Clark comes away with a crisp pass from Newman.
Out of the scramble. It's DePaul's off-the-ball movement that plays into their hand. When they play with that off-the-ball movement, cutting in back doors and curls, that's when they play free and play fun.
It is a frantic pace right now in the past 90-plus seconds at Wintrust Arena. Right now, leading scorer for the Blue Demons. Clark with 8, Johnson-Matthews with 8. 11 for Mayo offensively. Clark, trifecta. She's H-O-T-T-O-G-O.
Oh, that's a good one, Peter. No, Clark is so good at that three ball. You've got to chase her off the arc. She'll shoot from deep.
Mayo answers right back. St. John's has just had an answer in this second half for every time you feel, okay, can DePaul get that little bit of momentum? Not able to do so when the Red Storm answer immediately.
And St. John's isn't the most deep team. They get it done by their main core, and if you're not stopping them, they'll go off on you so quickly.
Ill-advised pass by Walker. Donald up ahead. Another fast break opportunity. Are they going to call a foul? They are not. And so that was merely Sky Owen out of Staten Island, a local product for St. John's, just losing the handle.
Right, St. John's has not converted well enough in their fast break off of DePaul turnovers. They could have so many more points off DePaul turnovers right now if they're paying more attention to detail. Not just looking for the foul call in the fast break, actually trying to make that bucket, running full speed, making sure to jump stop and have your foundation when you go up. Little things are so important when trying to convert points.
Oh, that was a travel. I was just going to say that was the patented Lexi fake it to take it pass, but a travel called nonetheless. 36-34, Blue Demons lead over the Red Storm. We'll be back on the Big East Digital Network.
We have selected 2 rows to race either the pizza logo or the candlelight logo all the way down and all the way back to me. The first row to get their cardboard back to me is going to go home with free pizza, courtesy of Candlelight Lincoln Park. Let's check and see if they are ready. My 2 rows, are we ready to go? All right, here we go. This is on my count. Oh, you're seated. You're seated. Yes, you are. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. You got to stick it all the way down. The first row to get it back, and it looks like it is going to be the pizza roll. The pizza roll is going to go home with free pizza coupons. Turn it into like the one. Congratulations to everybody right here. Thank you all for playing. All right, everybody else, we got something special for you. It's time to get on your feet because it is time for the parachute drop presented by Raising Cane's. That's right, t-shirts are about to fall from the sky right now, courtesy of Raising Cane's. It's time for the parachute drop. Go get a t-shirt. They're falling. Here they go. Who's going to take home the t-shirt? Will it be you? It's going to be you. Remember, students, the ball scores 60 points. You get a local coupon courtesy of Raising Cane's.
We spoke about who's going to step up next year with the departure of Jory Allen, one of them, of course, being Kate Clark. She had a season-high 18 points, 4 of 8 shooting just a few days ago, and already showing that little bit of prowess, that leadership, that long-range ability for the Blue Demons.
Clark, so good from 3. She actually last season had 8 threes for 3rd most in single game program history for DePaul against number 17 ranked Louisville. And so this isn't new to her. Clark, though, she has had to get back into the swing of things after being on the bench from an injury for most of the year. But wow, has she came back in and adjusted like she's never been out.
Floater right hand. Back glass, no good.
Good transition D by St. John's. They have not let DePaul have anything easy today.
Neither team has established much dominance. Quarter 1 favored St. John's, quarter 2 favoring the Blue Demons. But as even as can get. Once again, St. John's in the bonus, so if they can get back on the offensive side. Nice play by Jory Allen, just couldn't finish the shot.
Allen almost surprised at how open she was and just blew the layup because all night long she has been swarmed. A lot of physicality and no wide open shots.
Vanderhoop open to the left wing. Let's see if they kick out. And a offensive foul going to be called against Gideon.
What's tough about Gideon getting this offensive call is watch how it's, here it is. Watch how the guard doesn't wait for Gideon to set that screen first.
Yeah.
So really it's the guard's fault for not waiting until she's set, and then that's what gets the foul.
Clark, strong pass to the left wing. Allen, baseline, can't find the bucket. Fast pace, Vanderhoop for 3. No good off the sidearm. Dwyer is slow to get up as she jogs back on the defensive side of the court. The spin, contact, a travel called against Johnson Matthews. Officials are quick for the travel this afternoon. A scoring drought now of 2.5 minutes, 3 turnovers in that last 2.5 minutes.
Johnson Matthews goes for the spin here. I don't see a travel call, but unfortunately, at this point in the year, refs have been really quick to blow their whistle, whether it's been turnover or foul related, and it's because it's March now. Teams have to be so much more on their stuff.
Officials today, Ashley Gloss, Infinity Robinson, and Tasha Smith. Doing an outstanding job this afternoon. I'm sure you were the type of player, Lexi, that every ref was your best friend. Right?
No, honestly, I'm someone who's like, I made mistakes, but basketball is a game of mistakes, and I never thought about my mistakes. That's the thing.
Okay.
Amnesia, next play mentality is what basketball is about.
So the officials coming in and saying that possession will stay with jump ball. Okay, so jump ball.
And that's the thing today, too, Peter, is you can tell that DePaul is thinking of their mistakes. They're hesitating on shots because they've missed some. They're hesitating on the pass because they've turned the ball over, and now by the time they do pass it, they end up with another turnover. So when you're thinking of those mistakes, you are so much more bound to just make another one.
Now you bring up those turnovers. It's not a place that the Blue Demons want to be with the amount of turnovers they've had thus far. 16 turnovers thus far for the Blue Demons with 2:48 remaining in the third.
Yeah, it's just unacceptable.
And the season high is 25 two times. And so they are already 9 away. And with being in the bonus, St. John's at the line with an opportunity to tie. Up and good.
So big for St. John's to be able to chip away at this deficit, have the opportunity to tie it up with the clock stopped.
I thought you were going to say that's so big for little.
I missed an opportunity
it's okay.
there. I did.
Well, and with that being said, Little has only been to the free throw line 7 times this season. So, Lexi, it's another player that's just not familiar with that. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've heard time and time again is now, no matter how many times you're in the gym practicing getting those reps at the free throw line, unless it's, you know, in live action, you know, you feel differently.
100%. And it's good for Little to have those reps in March.
Layup with the right hand and good. Kate Clark delivering along the baseline. Shades of Diana Taurasi.
Clark, well, she's made a few threes now. So what that does to the St. John's defense is force them to close out on her so quickly, sprint straight out at her, and those are the easiest defenders to beat off the bounce for a drive.
Donald, step to the side for 2, couldn't find it. Coach Tartamello said injuries has just plagued his team so much this year. Layup with the right hand, no good. Bouncing around like volleyball, and that will go to St. John's. And he said, truly, and I think that shows a bit of confidence, he said, if we weren't hit as much by that injury bug early on and with players' availability, he said, easily I feel we could have been a top 3 team. He said, now we're in that tough spot, no way around it, of that 8-9 matchup, and the winner will play UConn.
The tough thing for so many college basketball teams is most teams aren't who they were when the season started, whether it's injuries or whatever.
What a move by Mayo. Faked the pass, drove it in herself, parting of the seas.
Mayo has been so good with having a score-first mentality today, at being willing to impose her will and get inside.
Tied at 38, Allen backing in. Let's take another look at what Mayo was able to do. Lexi, again, the observation and the vision. Oh, nice step.
Mayo so good at slicing through lanes and finding the lanes. That's that vision.
So Jory Allen now going to the line for 2, both teams in the bonus. 82 seconds remaining in the third. A low-scoring affair, and I will admit, I did not expect it to be so low-scoring after the output we've seen both these teams have the past few games.
Both DePaul and St. John's have really struggled with attention to detail today, at making sure they're as sharp as possible, at eliminating mistakes. And oftentimes in March, it's the team who makes less mistakes that wins the game. Today, there's loads of them.
Yeah. Coach Tartamello was saying he's really excited for the future of this program, the recruits he had. He said, so many players now, and again, as a player you can attest, are excited that they get to not only play games at Carnesecca Arena, but also at Madison Square Garden. He said some players yearn for the bright lights, and he said it's really exciting. Some of these players, of course, had that as an appealing factor. Would that appeal to you?
Oh, yeah. Big East especially, that's what you're thinking that you're getting out of it. That's what you go to the Big East for in Car, is to be on that stage.
Dwyer not necessarily excited about that call, and an ill-advised inbound pass, and Little. That is the second time in the past few minutes that Walker, like you mentioned, just almost a haphazard inbound without necessarily waiting for her teammate to get open.
Like DePaul has truly lost their heads once they had to sit with the fact that Jory Allen will be gone next year. It has really impacted the way that they're playing with intention. And now McLean had to foul in order to not allow St. John's to get anything easy off that.
So despite the amount of turnovers and fouls, they are now 7 away from their season high. And it's not a trend right now that DePaul wishes that we were mentioning. Little happy to get some more free throws under her belt. And we're tied at 40.
This is a big moment for Little to get these valuable minutes in March against a really tough DePaul team. She goes out now, but before today, her season high was just 1 point, and already today she came in and made an immediate impact.
Grant looking to the left side, trying to force it into Jory Allen again. Another turnover, but DePaul comes back. 11-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Look for the Blue Demons. Take a deep breath, slow down the pace.
And good by Lee to do that, to pull that ball back out. Wait for everyone to get back and get set in the half court.
Clark behind the back, 10 seconds. Clark pulls up, nice short range jumper for Clark.
Clark's pull-up is perfect because the way that she dribbles that ball straight into her shot pocket. It's such a fluid, quick motion.
8 on the shot clock. Can the Red Storm get a shot off in time? For 3! Side iron, no good. Defensive board by DePaul. And the Blue Demons find their way up by 2 at the end of 3.
DePaul hangs on by the skin of their teeth. 18 turnovers already, but they never put their head down. DePaul continues to be relentless.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to recognize our world senior manager, Jalen Fields. Joining Jalen on the board is Vice President and Director of Athletics for WOW TV and Executive Senior Associate Athletic Director and Senior Women Administrator, Dr. Jill Hollaby. While not visible on the court, Jalen's impact has been felt in every practice and every moment behind the scenes that has made this season memorable. His dedication, sacrifice, and commitment to helping our team has made our program better in every way, and we cannot thank him enough. Jalen is set to graduate this year with a degree in sports communication, and we wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Thank you, Jalen. This is the t-shirt call presented by That's right, make some noise if you want a t-shirt.
We did not get a t-shirt during the t-shirt toss, but nonetheless, we digress. Kate Clark, she's made buckets and has helped the Blue Demons be up 25-20. Not only a present player, but the future for the Blue Demons.
Clark, and doing it in an efficient manner. She's 60% from the field and the only player that's a Blue Demon with over 10 points today.
Allen triple teamed and gets blocked by Bahati.
Really good hands by St. John's.
Chris bounce pass. Oh, another point blank miss, but offensive board, another jump ball opportunity, and it is.
St. John's, it's tough because on the defensive end, it looks like they want to win this game. They're getting in the passing lanes, they're making blocks and playing clean, but then on offense, it doesn't look like they have that same urgency. They're missing the point-blank shots from such short range and not having that focus.
I think that's the key part where you said urgency right now. Both teams know they're locked into a certain position in the postseason. They know who their opponent is. Both coaches saying they've already started scouting those given opponents for what's going to be coming our way a few days from now at Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. I don't want to say they're looking past this contest, but you want to be as crisp as possible. You mentioned it in the open, that you want to come away with that win.
The confidence is so important in postseason.
Nice offensive board, up soft with the right hand. That might stay, and it will, with St. John's and Nevaeh Wingate, the sophomore out of Liverpool, New York. What an impact she's had since checking in.
St. John's giving themselves extra possessions by going for those O boards. Typically a stat that shows me who wants to win this game more is the rebound battle. And right now, St. John's just took the lead for the first time all game by 1 in rebounding.
That is Wingate's 9th shot on the season. So Lexi, you and I spoke about it during the break. We'll talk about it more shortly. Block, up, and there's the second basket of the season for Wingate, the sophomore.
Wingate doing a really nice job with just following that shot. Amnesia mentality.
Tied at 42. Jory Allen down low, up strong, blocked away by Wingate. Here's a player, and Lexi, please expound for the viewers and listeners at home. She has not had a lot of playing time, and neither has Little this season. But Coach Tartamello said, this is the game where I want players that have earned the right each and every day in practice, grinded it out early mornings to get their due.
Wingate, players like her or Little, who every practice chip away and grind as a big bucket is knocked in by Donald. St. John's on top now of this game. It's because they have players who, even though they haven't gotten many seasons, they grind. They make sure their starters are playing the best version every day in practice.
Allen tries to go up strong, can't find the bucket. So not only was it the first block of the season for Wingate, it immediately turned into offense.
And from Mayo getting into the paint, by being able to get a paint touch, that's what forces the defense to collapse inside and opened up Donald from deep. Lee has to be willing to shoot that. The defense is sagged all the way off her.
Blocked again. Julie Bahati, a steal. Offensive layup by the lefty, Summer Lee.
Hey, basketball's about making up for your mistakes. Lee, by not shooting that wide open shot, Mayo sagged off her and was able to play such great help defense on Johnson Matthews' shot and get a stop. But Lee didn't give up on that play, got it back and made up for that mistake.
1 point lead for the Red Storm. St. John's trying to create offense. At the top, Donald drives in. Nice pass underneath to Bahati. A little bit too much sauce behind it. Lexi, she couldn't hold on.
The one con with playing players who haven't gotten many minutes this season is the chemistry's not all the way there with the starters. Donald, it's typical for her when she's driving into the lane to try to hit that dump down to a post player, but Bahati has to have her hands ready for it.
Paul able to come away now. We get past half court. Clark loses the handle, and it's a strip. Is it going to be a jump ball? And it is. I got to shout out the officials doing such a great job this evening. The moment you feel it's a jump ball, whistle, thumbs up in the air.
And players hate that, though. Good by the officials to be on top of that. Players want to fight for it and get the possession before the possession arrow decides it.
DePaul will have 13 seconds to finish with a bucket. Front of the rim, no good.
The right shot, though, by Newman, and she's got to insert herself more. She's only got 3 points, and she is such a key part of DePaul's offense.
We appreciate you being with us. The final Sunday of the regular season in Big East competition. St. John's, DePaul. Floater with the right hand hits all sides of the rim, but decides going in. Up strong, Bahati gets her own offensive board, goes up strong, and she's going to go to the line for 2. What a presence for the 6'2" sophomore out of Springfield, Central Massachusetts.
The pogo stick game won't work against Bahati. You can't just jump up and down and hope to grab it over the top of Bahati's head. She's got the bunny. She's going to hop up and get her hands on it. You've actually got to get a body on her and push her out of the paint.
Red Storm lead 45-44. 6:26 remaining on the Big East Digital Network.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, 1 ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
A St. John's education is an education that elevates. St. John's is New York to the core. As a Catholic university, our students are ethical leaders on the court, in the classroom, in the community, and worldwide. United by pride and purpose, our students turn ideas into action and emerge career-ready with a confidence to succeed and change the world. St. John's University, education that elevates.
DePaul University students aren't just preparing for the real world. They're living in it. 98% of new incoming freshmen receive scholarships totaling over $57 million every year. And DePaul helps students find internships, posting 17,000 every year from leading U.S. companies. Start your future at DePaul. As real as what's next. DePaul University.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine. I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, 1 ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
45-44 in a zoom-in of broadcast legend Kenny McReynolds.
Oh!
The crowd shot. I mean, if there is multiple-time Hall of Famer Kenny McReynolds, he doesn't even know.
The cameo. He's texting me right now.
Is he? Oh, of course he is.
Literally.
He's probably like, hey, I'm watching the broadcast. Say this, do this.
I think he was shouting out my outfit. And that's a big compliment from Kenny. Because he's got style.
That man.
You put that man on camera, and he's dressing it down.
That's why I don't even try when I call games with Kenny. There is no use in even attempting.
And he's got the ring, the championship ring.
Yep.
I mean, the details.
It is in the details.
And it is in this game, too. It's the attention to detail that is going to be so important in this last 6 minutes and 26 seconds. Whoever can have better focus, better attention to detail, and make less mistakes down this stretch is who wins the game.
As you mentioned, both teams are approaching season highs for turnovers, and we still have 6.5 remaining in the contest. And don't be surprised if this game somehow ends up in overtime. We're tied at on and off throughout a lot of the game. I just got the look from Lexi. She just gave the look.
I cannot believe you said the O word on air.
It's the jinx. We'll see. We'll see if it comes to fruition.
Whew. Got my heart rate up now.
Nice job using the baseline for that inbound for DePaul. It's been one of the challenges today. Numerous occasions, the turnover on the inbound play.
And which has been surprising because St. John's just stays in their man-to-man on that full court press. They're not doing a zone trapping press.
Yeah. Yeah, that brings up a good point, Lexi. St. John's hasn't done anything particularly unique to this circumstance. Their base defense
really
is
good man-to-man defense, staying in front while DePaul just is panicked throughout this game.
Crisp inbound along the far side. Clark. Inbound, Allen wasn't ready for it, but still has it. She has the jump shot if she needs it. The pump fake, the fadeaway, nothing but the bottom of the net. Jory Allen delivers.
Allen is all fundamentals and footwork. I swear that's what her DNA is made out of. She is so good at just being that patient person who almost never makes a mistake for this DePaul squad. You can always count on her.
Tied at 46, 10 on the shot clock. Mayo caught in a trap underneath, able to get it out in time. The one extra step, rims out, no good. Crisis averted for the Blue Demons.
And good for DePaul to just play clean defense on that Mayo drive. She came in way wild and out of control, but another self-inflicted turnover out of DePaul.
I wasn't quite sure why McCline was going so deep with the pass that if you know it goes errant just in the slightest bit, it's out of play. So she had to get, I mean, that was a lot of help from the baseline jumping out of play, or the sideline, I should say, excuse me.
It is not time for DePaul to be making any risky passes. Just make the easy pass. Sometimes people overcomplicate the game of basketball, and it just comes down to simplifying it.
.509. Donald. Opportunity for St. John's to regain the lead. Turnaround left hand, a little bit of a push out, no call. Oh, but stepping on the line is Meg Newman. Every time, Lexi, the Blue Demons you think are catching a break, something like that happens.
A lot of these little boneheaded mistakes that play into the hand of St. John's, and that's why this game is still tied up despite DePaul shooting 42% from the field today.
Knotted up at 46. We will return on the Big East Digital Network.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, one ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
A St. John's education is an education that elevates. St. John's is New York to the core. As a Catholic university, our students are ethical leaders on the court, in the classroom, in the community, and worldwide. United by pride and purpose, our students turn ideas into action and emerge career-ready with a confidence to succeed and change the world. St. John's University. Education that elevates.
DePaul University students aren't just preparing for the real world. They're living in it. 98% of new incoming freshmen receive scholarships totaling over $57 million every year. And DePaul helps students find internships, hosting 17,000 every year from leading U.S. companies. Start your future at DePaul. As real as what's next. DePaul University.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, one ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
all knotted up at 46 apiece, 4:58 remaining in the season finale of the regular season for Big East Hoops. Once again, for Lexi Ayala, I'm Peter Ferreri. St. John's, a scoreless 3.5-minute drought right now, but I have an opportunity after that good rebound. Open, 3, Dwyer, can't find the bucket.
St. John's problems today have also been self-inflicted, but in a different way. They're not self-inflicted in the turnovers, how DePaul is. However, St. John's is in the converting.
Clark can't find it, a foot outside the free throw line. Mayo so quick off that first step.
Mayo requires a lot of attention. If she can get into the paint and get one of those paint touches off her dribble, that's good for St. John's offense.
When these teams met before, it was a 67-60 final. Blue Demons defeating the Johnnies in Queens. Mayo can't find the second attempt. Mayo finished with a team-high 15 points and shot 50% from the field. Mayo already matched that mark and is 5 for 9 from the field this time around. 0 for 7 out of their last 7 attempts is St. John's.
Well, and here's a number that tells you about their conversion as another self-inflicted turnover out of DePaul.
Up, strong whistle, delayed. And going to the line for 2. And that's Jory Allen, I believe. That is her 4th foul.
So DePaul will get a chance, St. John's will get a chance here to pay off their defense into offense from the free throw line. But when you talk about St. John's inability to convert today, they've had 14 offensive rebounds. They're winning the rebound battle by quite a margin. They've only got 5 second chance points. They have to do a better job in these last 3 minutes and 40 seconds at finding the best quality shot today. They're only 27% from the field, which is why they haven't been able to convert well.
Phoenix, it's 1 of 2. It's just one of those games. It's almost as if whoever has the final possession, that's who's gonna come away victorious. It has been such a close game, a gritty game, physical game. No team has shown any sort of advantage thus far. Open. Thought she was going to take the shot. Clark open for 3. Rims out, no good.
Newman has taken way too long to make decisions today, though. She's gotten the ball open on the block multiple times, and instead of just going up, a Pizzotti rule of thumb is you have 0.5 seconds to make a decision. Newman takes too long, and then the shot dissipates.
Soft off the rim, another miss. For St. John's, the drought continues. Johnson Matthews trying to take it herself this time around. The cut pass, Clark up. Oh, an offensive board. Can't find it on the second time. 2.5 remaining, 1 point lead still for the Johnnies.
In these last couple of minutes, DePaul's percentages have dropped so much because they keep missing shots. They're getting good quality shots, but the attention to detail has just not been here today.
Both teams on a scoreless drought. St. John's, I'm going to say this nice and slow, no field goals in the last 5.5 minutes. That is a long time, and they're still leading. So that just shows both teams just, Lexi, is it the shot choice? Is it one? You complimented St. John's early in the contest, that one extra pass. You know, and I forgot exactly what your phrase was, but it was, you know, you do that one extra pass to find the best shot. Right now, both teams just quick fire.
What hurts St. John's so much is that they are getting quality shots. They're not making them. The focus, the attention to detail isn't there. They've blown so many close point-blank range shots, and then meanwhile, DePaul loses the possession altogether from the self-inflicted turnovers. So they're both hurting themselves in their own way, but it's not so much that it's the opponent that's doing the affecting.
Layup with the right hand, point blank with the miss. A bit high on it was Bahati. Once again, DePaul with a single bucket can take the lead. Clark tries to switch from left to right hand. Off the right foot. Thought it was Allen. They're going to say it's off Bahati. 2:08. Let's take another look.
Yeah, definitely. Bahati's leg there.
Allen, right hand, and one. Jory Allen, have yourself a day. 48-47, she's trying to will the Blue Demons to a victory.
DePaul needs Allen right now, and she knows it. That's why the second that she got the ball, she put her head down. She knew exactly where she was going with it, into the paint, into the chaos and the commotion, to draw contact and get an and one. A three-point play perfected by Jory Allen.
This is the opportunity for the Blue Demons to have one of their best defensive stands of the season. You're not necessarily playing for that win-loss record. You're playing for the pride of your senior leader in Jory Allen, the momentum that both coaches want going into the tourney. Gideon with the screen. Mayo driving the step back, right hand floater. Kisses off the rim and glass and goes in.
What a tough shot by Mayo. That shot took focus. It took getting your eyes locked on the rim and finding the perfect angle because DePaul defense was on it.
Allen up strong again. She parts the Red Sea and delivers an and one for the Blue Demons.
Jory Allen embodies what DePaul ball is supposed to be. Relentless, determined to make a difference. Allen, she's so calm, cool, and collected about it all, too. Are you kidding?
You will actually notice on the left back shoulder blade of Jory Allen, she got raked on that one. There is a nice gash behind her left shoulder. We'll see if there is a stoppage for that at all, because again, you know, if there's any blood, they have to stop it. So that is, you could see it. Well, we'll see what you can see.
Allen has been getting bing, bop, mollywopped all game long. I mean, seriously, St. John's has done such a good job. You have to give them credit for taking away as much of Jory Allen's presence as possible. They've done it by fronting and three-quartering her, trying to limit her touches, and also just by full-on fouling the heck out of her.
The wide open three. Two Blue Demons hit the floor. Last touch, Taylor Matthews. St. John's lives to take another shot, trailing 52-49.
St. John's has to be intentional about who they're going to and the type of shot they're taking out of this possession. Mayo has been so good at getting into the lane, finding openings and making it happen. 17 points today to lead all scorers for St. John's, and that has to be the go-to bucket getter that they go to in this last minute.
So this last play is under review. They're determining who that last touch was. By our vantage point, Lexi, I couldn't quite see it because all three players hit the ground here at Wintrust Arena, so didn't quite have the vantage point of it. But crucial nonetheless. If you are St. John's, you want to live another possession, let's take a look.
Slow-mo, frame by frame. Definitely looks like Mayo's fingertips were the last to touch.
Unless they're going to say that Johnson Matthews pulled it. That's a tough call. Great job by our camera operator and production crew, Kevin and the team. They have done an amazing job all season. But like you said, if we say nice things about Kevin, he'll get us the free swag, so.
No, the Jory Allen shirts out in full force look nice today on all the fans, family in Wintrust Arena. This deciding factor of this call, though, means a lot on the outcome of the game. St. John's, they desperately need this possession. It's still a one-possession game for St. John's, but if this possession goes back to DePaul, DePaul can really extend this lead and begin to put that cherry on top, and then that's where St. John's then has to decide if they're going to start playing that foul game to extend the game.
Mayo, leading scorer for both teams, Mayo, at 17 points, 6 for 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. DePaul, 21 turnovers. Here's another angle. Here's where I mentioned maybe you see the index finger of the left hand, and they're going to say it goes DePaul's way.
It looks like the right call.
Yeah, yep, indeed.
Hurts for St. John's, though, nonetheless.
Great job by the replay crew.
And remember, referees will not change the call unless there is indisputable evidence.
Correct.
So they were all able to look at that and agree together.
So a huge turn of events. If you are St. John's now, what are you trying to do stylistically, defensively?
Coaches have different ways that they want to do things. Some might go straight to that foul game, and then others might want to get a stop because it is still a one-possession game, and they will still get the ball back.
Jory Allen, the handoff. 15 on the shot clock. DePaul with nothing more to extend it to a two-position lead.
Allen, the forward, being like a point guard, directing everyone.
Jory Allen.
Who else?
Answers the call. Fans on their feet. 54-49.
Allen has been magnificent down the stretch. Her playmaking ability is elite. That jab step to get Bahati almost falling onto the hardwood, and then Allen just cashes it in her eye. That's enough to get the entire Blue Demon bench on their feet.
I was just going to mention, I don't know if I've seen the bench so excited for the Blue Demons this entire afternoon as we did right there. And it was so effortless that she just pushed it to the baseline. Bahati was going for the block. A little bit of a trip, wide open spaces for the Blue Demons. Now if you're DePaul, I don't want to say you just let him take any shot. What do you try to do defensively if you're the DePaul Blue Demons?
Definitely no silly fouls. I saw a game just 2 days ago get extended when it looks like the leading team has it. Everything's good until you make a silly foul from three. That's the last thing DePaul can do. No silly fouls right now to give St. John's an opportunity to chip away with the clock stopped at that free throw line.
Crucial inbound, 47 seconds. Driving in, right hand layup, and one. Mayo going to the line, and it's exactly what you said, Lexi, should not happen.
With the way DePaul has been playing with a lack of attention to detail, it's not shocking. And unfortunately for DePaul, if you're going to foul, that's where you have to at least foul hard enough for her to not make it. But Mayo has been amazing down the stretch. She has had a no-quit mentality and just continues to fight. She's been that go-to bucket getter, and St. John's was extremely smart to feed the hot hands.
Makes it. Do you start fouling now, or do you? So here's the timeout for St. John's. Let's talk strategy. Once again, a one-possession game, 54-52. If you are St. John's, do you let DePaul utilize that full length and have that 15 seconds less and hope they miss, or do you start fouling now?
Again, it depends on the coach.
Yeah.
Old school coaches typically like to go for, let's get a stop. It's still a one-possession game. And with how much time is left on the clock, we will still get possession of this basketball if we get that stop. Some coaches go straight to that foul in order to get possession back much quicker. However, St. John's did such a nice job at using only a couple seconds on that last play to hit Mayo, and she went straight inside to the block and got a bucket for the and one. So they are in a decent position in terms of time. 45 seconds is a lot of time at the end of a game when things can get extended with fouls.
Well, and not only is it a lot of time, I mean, DePaul has had quite a few turnovers just in their normal operation.
Yeah, St. John's can possibly let DePaul make the mistake.
Johnson Matthews loses a handle. Oh, what a play by Johnson Matthews. Allen tries to fight through. Pass inside with a baseline cut. Meg Newman. What an ending to that sequence. It looked doomed from the start. Allen fights through and gets the pass.
And Newman literally comes up to give Allen a hug for that, because everything is fed through Allen when it matters most. When this game has been on the line Allen has gotten back-to-back and ones. Then she uses her vision. The cherry on top. Everybody suctions onto Allen. She knows she's that go-to bucket getter. She scored the last 3 possessions. She got double teamed. And then guess who? Newman. That post-to-post connection that has been so nice all season long between those two.
The red-shirted junior with one of the biggest shots of the season in her own right. Again, the defense trying to get in Allen's way, thinking she's going to take the shot. That one extra touch, and that just shows how important the past few sequences have been for Jory Allen, because they said, okay, we can't leave her one-on-one. She's found her hot streak. Jory Allen, 17 points, 6 for 16 from the field. And Newman, that was her second bucket of the day. DePaul, 4 out of their last 4.
And Allen's playmaking ability, I normally refrain away from comparing any player to LeBron. However, LeBron is a player that has gotten a lot of crap for not being the one to take the last shot when the game's winding down. But he's a player that plays with fundamentals and just makes the right basketball play. And Allen's that same type of player. Even though she is the go-to bucket getter for DePaul, the one that everyone depends on, she's going to make the right play. If there's someone wide open cutting underneath, that's who she's hitting instead of taking a double-teamed contested shot, and that was the right play.
Very true. 4-point lead for the Blue Demons over the Red Storm. St. John's needs a bucket. They need one quick, and they need to stop. And that's where the foul game will start. Mayo forces it up. Foul going to be called. I will say this, if you are DePaul, it's not the worst idea in the world because you're going to force them to the line for 2, but you're still going to have a lead. And there indeed, Jory Allen, standing ovation, her final time subbing out at Wintrust Arena. What a career.
Everyone on their feet for Jory Allen. Feels a little premature for DePaul to pull her. Of course, they want the standing ovation on senior day, but this game is close. Oh, excuse me, she's got 5.
That was indeed her 5th and final foul. But nonetheless, give Jory Allen her flowers.
Left it all out there.
Mayo makes them both. And now we are going to get the invite to the foul party. You want St. John's, if you're a fan of theirs, you want to foul as quickly as possible, and you want to foul the player that's going to miss the most free throws. Now, with that being said, St. John's and their defense, Lexi, has caused DePaul fits multiple times with the inbound itself. So expect that high pressure to just force the hand of DePaul, and maybe they're not going to end up where they want to go with it. They just got to get it inbounded.
And St. John's will absolutely go for the steal first. That is a necessity before you go for that foul, especially with how often DePaul has turned over the basketball today.
Talked about the future life after Jory Allen. DePaul is actually one of the most youthful rosters in the country, with 10 freshmen and sophomores on the squad.
And then also you look at players like Taylor Johnson-Matthews and Meg Newman, who are juniors by their year, by their class. However, not as much by their basketball experience and their reps. Taylor Johnson-Matthews, she got a lot of experience playing JUCO level in community college, but of course it's a lot different than making that jump to Big East, and same idea with Newman. They've translated beautifully, but they still don't have that reps and experience yet in the Big East.
Blue Demons lead the all-time series 26-8. They've won 14 out of their last 17. And DePaul is 11-5 when games take place in Chicago.
Johnson-Matthews has to cut and jab to get open. She can't just stand there and hope.
Lee looking for the inbound. Gets it to Newman, and Newman gets fouled.
And the perfect choice for St. John's to allow Newman to be the player that is open, because out of everybody on the floor right now, Newman is one of the worst free throw shooters at around 60% on the season.
No, you are spot on as we set the stage for that last sequence. If you're going to leave anybody open, it's Newman.
And St. John's is in a position where they have to foul quickly in order to send it to that double.
Timeout called 30-second timeout for the Blue Demons. 2-point lead. DePaul needs an inbound. Both teams at 4 team fouls. But I guess you could say something that helps St. John's. Yes, what hurts is the clock. What hurts is the score. But if you continually have to force DePaul to inbound, St. John's has caused turnovers off of those inbounds. And they still have a timeout. Should they force a turnover, they could easily call a timeout and get their final play called.
What hurts St. John's, even though it's been something that's helped them all season long, is how clean that they've played. How nobody ever really gets in foul trouble. However, when you're at the end of a game like this and you want to have that option to foul without any time coming off the clock, you've got to have the right number. But now St. John's, since they didn't, DePaul was able to shave off some more time.
Looking for the inbound. Off to the left side, poked away. Who was it last touched by? Wow. That was close. They're saying the last touch was Dwyer. That was almost exactly what you didn't want to have happen if you're a fan of the Blue Demons. Lee, look at the inbound, almost 5 seconds. Newman. Bahati called over to the official, saying the word foul as she was fouling.
Paul only got 2 seconds off the clock on that. So St. John's in a good position and with the right person that they wanted shooting free throws.
Newman with some deep breaths and baby steps. Nails it.
Clutch.
Now you know if you're St. John's, it's at least a 3-pointer to tie. Could it be a 2-possession game? Newman misses the second. There's that timeout. So St. John's with the ball. Their last timeout, a 3-pointer to tie. Now, I'm asking the question, Lexi, because I literally saw the similar situation 2 nights ago in a conference semifinals for a different conference. The team down 3 decided to get the quick layup and then immediately start following again. If you are St. John's, do you look for the 3, do you look for the tie, or do you try to get the quickest bucket?
It's tough because St. John's has been much better in the paint than they have from 3 today. From 3 as a team, they're only 24%. However, their leading scorer on the night, Mayo, with 22 points, she's 50% from 3-point land. She's only made 2, but she's only shot 4. If St. John's is going to go for that 3, that has to be the player they find. If that breaks down, if that doesn't work out, then they have a really nice plan B for her to be the one that drives in and is also the bucket getter in the paint. Then they'll just have to extend the game again with the fouls.
What a fun afternoon in the South Loop of Chicago. Owen, there's the 3. It's open. Airs it. Offensive rebound and an opportunity for the and 1. Wow.
Okay, jinx, Peter, but wow. St. John's doesn't even have to make the 3-point play off a 3-pointer because offensive rebounds, the will to win, the want and the desire, the passion, St. John's has that more than DePaul down the stretch. They've won the rebound battle. They've made less mistakes when it comes to turnovers. And St. John's has showed up in such a big moment right here. And of course, it's Mayo.
Both teams out of timeouts. Let's not discredit. This is one of the biggest shots for Mayo. She has to tie it. And she does.
82% free throw shooter on the season. A great option for St. John's to have. Make that 3-point play from the charity stripe. Ice in her veins today.
A calm falls upon Wintrust Arena. Chance for the win. The drive. With 1 from half court. Hits off the glass. We are heading to overtime. Tied 57-57. We got a few extra minutes of NCAA basketball, Lexi.
Mayo, the hero for St. John's, a new career high 25 points today to send this game into overtime against DePaul.
We just couldn't get enough of regular season Big East hoops. We needed overtime. And off the right hand of Mayo, she has brought St. John's back from the precipice of defeat and tied it up at 57.
Mayo has been incredible down the stretch. She has been such a confident go-to bucket getter. Her hustle, her determination has led this back to St. John's.
Mayo coming away with the possession. To recap, Jory Allen fouled out at the very end of regulation. Mayo drives in, lays it up, and is going to be fouled.
DePaul in deep trouble in overtime without Allen on the floor. She's not just their leader on offense, but also on defense, a rim protector. Mayo able to get inside and have her way with it without Allen on the court to step up as help.
To recap as well, DePaul had an opportunity to win the game. They drove in, and McCline just went up with the left hand, thought maybe she was going to get a foul called against her. No foul was called. We said in overtime, and Mayo is at the line for two and misses the first.
The really interesting play call or decision making by DePaul for their last shot of the game to win it. They go with McCline, who has 0 points on the night.
One-point lead for the Red Storm after Mayo makes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. As mentioned, Johnson Matthews, one of the players that will help need to step up for the Blue Demons. Clark for 3, high off the rim, massive rebound by Bahati. And that just shows that the height and the length that she has, my goodness.
More than that, Bahati's positioning. She was in front of Newman, sealed Newman on her backside, and Newman just tried to play that pogo stick game, which St. John's has shown time and time again they will win that battle.
At the line now is Bahati. Again, coming into today, only 8 for 12 from the free throw line. Misses the first. She is now 2 for 5 this afternoon.
Bahati's getting some really big minutes today. One of those players that has been grinding all season long, one practice at a time, even through not getting many minutes in games, and that has earned her these minutes today.
Both times the St. John's Red Storm have been to the free throw line in overtime. They've made 1 of 2. Clark, can she take it over? Crisp pass to Johnson Matthews, driving in, losing the handle, rolls it over to McCline, floats it up, not quite sure where the contact was, but nonetheless it's going to stay Blue Demon possession with 8 seconds left.
Blue Demons need to be so intentional here. Typically, their out-of-bounds plays are drawn up and executed so well, but the screens need to be set perfectly.
Losing a handle, I thought there might have been a foul. If you're Johnson Matthews, you probably wish you just kind of chucked it up from your hip.
Well, and also Clark was running through the motions on that screen. She didn't actually hit someone and catch a body with it.
McCline gets it to Clark with 5. She's going to need him to create a shot. Driving, right hand, lays it up, but a second too late.
Goodness gracious, St. John's locked down, sapped on defense. The way that everyone plays on a string and moves together for St. John's, stepping up as help, is great.
What? I want to say this is one of the most interesting broadcasts I have done all basketball season, with the amount of turnovers, the amount of consistencies and inconsistencies.
A lot of fouls. 2 players for DePaul have fouled out. Lee and Allen. 2 players with 4. McCline and Newman. 2 players with 4 for St. John's. Lavelle and Gideon.
Mayo, the up, the under, the miss. Own offensive rebound for Mayo.
St. John's has been so dominant on the O boards, giving themselves second chance opportunities all game long, and those extra possessions have made the difference.
Mayo falling away and just kind of shot it up from the hip. She's saying she thought she got a foul, but
even though Mayo has been the hero for St. John's today, she can't force it. She has done such a nice job today playing within the flow of the game.
Shakira McCline, the sophomore, had a very solid freshman campaign. Gonna need to step up here in overtime. Driving, contact on the way into town.
St. John's has to stay disciplined, especially when someone from DePaul, this time McCline, is driving in so wild and off balance. This was not a shot McCline would have had a good chance of making. There wasn't a good angle, and that slide that helped defense in closing the gap has to come quicker, and St. John's gets out of that without a foul.
McCline, first time at the free throw line, and makes it.
That's McCline's first bucket, first point of the night.
Makes them both. Makes it look easy.
Tori Allen just looking on from the bench, cheering her team on. Such a tough position to be in as the leader of the team, having to sit in overtime while your teammates try to win it for you.
Klein 600 from the free throw line. Able to knock them both down. Tied at 59. Will we get a double overtime? Who knows? Owen rolls around, rims in and good.
Owen stepping up with the biggest shot of her career. She's got 0 points in this game until that bucket.
Johnson Matthews pulls up. Foul called against her. She'll go to the line for 2 more. Johnson Matthews 1 for 2 from the free throw line this afternoon.
The thing that will be so discouraging for DePaul is you see Owens just rise up, ready to elevate over Johnson Matthews and make that tough mid-range. The thing that's discouraging for DePaul in this game is that they're playing against St. John's bench players for a majority of this game and still having a hard time taking care of that rock and executing their plays.
Makes it. So earlier in the game, DePaul wasn't as successful from the free throw line. Turnovers have dwindled down, and they're being as successful as possible from the free throw line. Now in number 21, Nelson, the freshman guard. Crucial time in overtime. Poking through. What a pickup by Meg Newman.
And Newman has 4 fouls, so she had to play against Mayo so clean right there. Good defensive execution.
The jab step by Johnson Matthews. Pulls up. Travel call.
Johnson Matthews' feet have just not been on the same page as her ball handling and her dribble today. Her feet have been moving a half a step quicker than her ability to put the ball on the floor, and she's gotten a few of those travel calls. That's 23 turnovers for DePaul now, 2 away from their season high.
Dwyer gets the screen at the top. Thought about taking the shot, resetting up is Donald. The 2-3 zone once again for DePaul. That is a Natalia Nelson kind of throwing her hands up. Not quite sure where the contact was, but Mayo hit the ground hard. Let's take another look.
Nelson's chopping here. There's a little contact right there, but when the whistle is called, Nelson was 3 feet away from Mayo. Mayo got tripped up on that line. And it did look like she rolled an ankle. Her ankle definitely got caught up, but not at the fault of Nelson in a foul call. Just one of those weird basketball plays where your foot rolls under itself.
So Dwyer, you see in the background, she's having some exchanges with the fans at Wintrust Arena, and Mayo makes the first. The crowd just got a replay of the same thing we saw in the broadcast, and Lexi, that was something. Free throw missed. DePaul down by 1. 70 seconds remaining in overtime.
Johnson Matthews trying to post up down low.
Coach missed.
You don't see that often.
No.
DePaul playing out of their system. Today, DePaul has just not trusted their half-court sets in the system that they've played in and thrived in throughout this season.
As you mentioned, 5 fouls for Lee, 5 fouls for Allen, Newman with 4, McCline with 4. On the flip side, Lavelle has 4 and Gideon with 4. You'll often get to that point when you get this deep into overtime. Offensively, though, Johnson Matthews, I can see them drawing up a play, going to her. If she doesn't have it, who's she going to dish it off to? Remains to be seen, but so kind of crisis averted for DePaul that St. John's only made 1, so a basket can take the lead.
It's a hard decision for DePaul to want to go with Johnson Matthews when you only have a minute left. The most important part of the game right now is no turnovers, no fouls. And Johnson Matthews, unfortunately for her, has a career high 8 turnovers today. She just hasn't been able to get her feet on the same page as her ball handling, and DePaul cannot afford any mistakes in this last minute.
DePaul shot 30% in the first, 53 in the second, 45 in the third, 35 in the fourth. They have not made a field goal in overtime, but are 4 for 4 from the free throw line. So I wouldn't be surprised as well if the basketball gods maybe have DePaul draw a foul and send them to the line for 2.
And Johnson Matthews is the best player on the floor at drawing contact, at getting into the lane, finding those gaps, openings, and getting herself to the free throw line. She's efficient from the free throw line as well. It's just those turnovers, 8 of them, that would be really scary if I'm Coach Pizzotti to want to draw up a play for Johnson Matthews right now. It's just a bit risky.
8 lead changes, 14 times tied. At one point, St. John's had a lead of 9, but back and forth we went all the way that we needed extras. And how exciting is it now that we get bonus basketball, 62 seconds remaining in overtime.
And of course, this season isn't over. There's so much postseason to be played. But this game feels very poetic. Today's senior night, AKA Jory Allen night. We talked to Coach Pizzotti about, is the torch being passed down yet? She said no, it's still very much Allen's team. However, this is a moment that someone on this squad steps up and becomes a leader alongside Allen.
Newman with the inbound. O'Harry in the contest, sets the screen for Clark for 3. Rims out. 25-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. A 2-pointer still makes it a 1-possession game.
A beautifully executed play by DePaul. Clark got that shot off perfectly. The screens were set nice, just didn't make it.
Gideon down low, up strong, misses. 7-second differential between the clocks.
DePaul opting to just get the stop, which is a good decision because St. John's has struggled from the field today.
Klein gets it off to Johnson Matthews, 15 on the shot clock. Clark, the screen, the pass back, the left-handed layup. Meg Newman delivers with 13 ticks remain. The give and go. Blue Demons on top by 1.
And it's off of team basketball by DePaul. That has been a cornerstone of this squad since the start, as Pizzotti wanting most of their buckets to come from a dime. Clark doing such a nice job. Watch here at just being patient in this screen and roll situation, waiting for Newman to make eye contact before feeding her wide open. That's what I call an easy money bunny.
63-62. Now if you're St. John's, now you have 13 seconds. You can go to the line. You can try to fight to get to the line, I should say. You just need a 2 to get the victory. Are you waiting till maybe 10, 8, 7 on the shot clock, get it in the hands of your playmaker and go? We'll see shortly. What a turn of events. Newman, 8 points, 3 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and all this while operating Lexi with 4 fouls.
No matter what St. John's does in this possession, it's gotta come through Mayo. She's got a career-high 27 points tonight. She is 8 for 16, 50% from the field.
10 on the shot clock. Dwyer drives, lays up, right hand and good. 5 seconds remain. Newman floats ahead for Johnson Matthews and she gets fouled. Johnson Matthews gets fouled by Dwyer. It's a 1-point lead for the Red Storm. Oh my word.
Dwyer, what a playmaker. She was just 3 for 15 from the field before this, but she's the go-to bucket getter of the squad. She's been a leader. She's coming off an insane game. But for her to come back and be so silly here with any contact when she knows they're in double bonus territory, Taylor Johnson Matthews ties it up.
And now 4.4 remains, tied at 64.
Johnson Matthews, she's near that 80% mark from the free throw line this season.
Takes the lead with 3, with 2, with 1. Mayo for the win. No good, no good, no good. The DePaul Blue Demons weather the Red Storm and defeat St. John's in overtime, 65-64.
The fight out of DePaul. Relentless, never quit mentality, amnesia mentality for how many mistakes DePaul has made today. The turnovers, losing the rebound battle. What they never did all game long was get frustrated, look upset. They never let their emotions rule and decide this game.
What a send-off for Jory Allen. She is in tears. The team's embracing Jory Allen with her face all over the t-shirts they're wearing, and what an ending for her that they were able to deliver.
And so poetic for Taylor Johnson-Matthews. Just like how this game gone for DePaul. She had a lot of turnovers. She had a lot of mistakes. She was the one who sold it, the player who wants to be the leader for this team next year to win the game.
We want to thank you all for joining us for the final regular season game of Big East play. We hope you all join us for postseason action, which starts in just a week. For Lexi Ayala, I'm Peter Ferreri. Your final in Chicago, 65-64. This has been a presentation of the Big East Digital Network. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody.